Enter your God arc. Everybody's always talking about entering their winter arc, but the thing about the winter arc is that it only utilizes one plane of existence. And all successful manifestation requires unity and synchronization across all three planes of existence: physical, mental, and spiritual. And more often than not, it's actually our prioritization of one particular plane of existence that actually leads to our suffering and our difficulties in reality. In order for you to enter your desired reality, you need to enter your God arc, which is the highest level of consciousness that you've ever been in. And I don't mean that from a degree of being enlightened. I mean simply operating beyond these third dimensional realm illusions and placing yourself above them in order to actually enter your desired reality. Because spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. People's winter arc is about gymming and drinking fucking vegan smoothies or whatever the fuck it is. None of that shit's gonna get you into your desired reality, and I'm going to explain why. I'm also going to explain 3 crucial steps that will get you into your God arc. So, as usual, let's get to it. I know some niggas thought I was gonna say you're gonna get some. Long time we not kill a man, so we circle the ends like a letter man.
I just want to say, you're welcome to come.
Listen, Jamaicans make good music and you niggas aren't being hella horny. Like, you lot make great music. I just can't listen to them sex songs where it's man them singing sex songs. Like, how do you lot listen to that?
R&B artists do that.
Not like the Yardies. Not like the Yardies. Not like the Yardies. Scheme hot like Shabba Madabat. Gunfire, every man I drop flat. Okay. So, first things first. Before I actually get into the 3 crucial steps, I'm going to have to set some foundations in per usual. Now, here's the thing. Chances are you've either watched the people that you love grow up through this, you saw them experience this, and maybe you're experiencing it yourself. But most of the world, and let's just say for the point that I'm trying to make, let's say 90% of the world simply operate from one plane. And when I say one plane of existence, you can just substitute the word plane for level. So one level of existence, but you exist on 3. And this is also known as mental, physical, spiritual. In other traditions, it's also known as body, mind, spirit. And biblically, esoterically, it's Father, Son, Holy Spirit. There's always this 3 triune nature that reflects you as a microcosm, even up to the highest of the macrocosms. Most people simply operate from one particular level of existence, and that is the physical plane. Now, as I've told you, you exist on 3 levels. So utilizing one plane of existence is about utilizing 33% of your power. Now, please, I know some niggas gonna be like, oh, 33, he's amazing. Shut up, man. Just shut up, man. Simply for the point that I'm trying to make. You're utilizing 1/3 of your potentiality. And as I said, all successful manifestation requires a synchronization across all 3 planes of existence. It is fundamental. So when you see these spiritual niggas that are talking about, I'm just going to manifest and it's going to come to me and I don't have to do anything for it. That's just complete idiotic, because once again, they're missing planes of existence. And I will show you how to utilize all planes of existence. Relax, you're gonna get some. But as I said, crucial to understand that you getting out of your human arc or winter arc, whatever the fuck niggas are talking about, and getting into your God arc is going to require you to separate yourself from what 90% of the world do, which is to utilize one plane of existence. Because the thing about the physical plane is that the physical plane is the illusionary realm. Now, I'll explain why it is the realm of illusion. Your eyes can only see 0.035% of what actually exists. And this is due to the fact that visible light is a tiny portion of the entirety of the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, understanding that what you see is a fraction of reality. You see a fraction of reality. You don't see the entirety of reality. So bear in mind, illusion, you can conceptualize the word as illusion as simply things not seeming as they are. In other words, it is a trap. And so long as you continue operating from the realm of illusion and its confinements, you will be trapped. And then your desired reality will be trapped. Any progress that you attempt to make on this physical plane is almost going to seem like you just can't get to where you want to be. You've been trying to materialize a particular desired reality for a while, but it's just not materializing. And more often than not, it's because you're confined by the third dimensional realm illusions, which we're going to get into, because in order for you to enter your God arc, you need to transcend yourself above these illusions, and I will show you how to do that. Relax, you're gonna get some. Now, as I said, the physical plane is the realm of illusion because you see a fraction of reality, and the physical plane is the existence of the ego. When I say ego, I'm not talking about the gotta hear ego. I love his big ego. It's too much. What? Like, you don't know that song? Beyonce.
Nah, you weren't singing it wrong. You weren't singing it right.
Anyways, it is the realm of illusion. It's directly attached to the ego, which is just your 5 physical senses. I don't mean an unpleasant characteristic. It's simply your 5 physical senses. Now, you have to understand the thing about the ego is that it is solely reliant on one particular thing. And this one particular thing is exactly why more than likely you're playing the game of reality backwards. And that thing that the physical plane is directly reliant on is action. You guys see I've been killing this whiteboard so much that my pen is starting to tap out. You think the board's wet? No, it's not wet enough. Pause. Anyways, it's action. It's solely reliant on action. But the thing about action is that action is the lowest level of consciousness. Action is the lowest level of consciousness. Meaning, action has the lowest impact when it comes to changing reality. You will not change your desired reality, you will not enter your desired reality through action alone. More important than physical action is the prerequisite of correct mental action. That's a bar, write that down, and I'm going to show you how to do this. But I just need you to understand that most people operate from the lowest level of consciousness. They think, I want to change my life, so I'm going to take this physical action. But action being the lowest level of consciousness means it makes the lowest amount of impact. Hence why some of us, you know, I saw it all the time growing up, especially in the ends, or the ghetto for the Americans. Growing up in the ends, you see people work themselves to the bone, and it's never enough. And it's never enough because they're relying on the lowest level of consciousness as opposed to aligning themselves on the high degrees of consciousness. And that's exactly what I'm gonna get into. Now, for the niggas that clicked on this video because it says God arc and you thought I was gonna be telling you to pray and go to church or some shit. Oh, you're here now, you might as well stick around, innit? You might as well stick around. So, I'm going to explain to you why action is the lowest degree of consciousness. Physical action is not going to change reality, because the thing that I actually didn't write down, but I'll write it down just for clarification, is that the physical plane is the realm. Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna have to wet it up some more.
Where's that cloth?
No, I got the cloth here. But the red one, the red marker's been a bit stubborn. It knows how I like my board nice and clean. By the way, guys, by the end of this video, once you understand how to enter your God arc, you'll be saying, I understand it now. Because how many times do we seasonally attempt to get our lives in order? When winter comes, niggas say, I'm gonna get in shape, I'm gonna do this, I'll do that. We kind of, you know, make progress seasonal. But the God arc isn't a trend, it's a lifestyle. And that's what we're gonna be putting you in. We're gonna be giving you, instead of eyesight, God sight. And I mean that esoterically. And it's important that I actually do kind of lay down what I mean when I say God arc in clear definitions, so that you're not confused to any degree. Somebody said, guys, I'm not sure if Nero's human. That's either like a crazy compliment or like a crazy allegation on the nature of my humanity, which I do not feel comfortable revealing at this particular moment in time. Thank you, next.
I'm just acting more suspicious.
Or you think I'm acting suspicious?
Yeah, bro.
Hey, bro. Niggas think I'm a reptile, a clone, a robot. I'm whatever you want me to be. Whatever you want me to be, I'll be that. Pause. Well, yeah, because I know some people want me to. Yeah, never mind. as I said, let me actually define what I mean when I say God arc. God arc is your ability to act from the highest level of consciousness. When I say consciousness, consciousness is also interchangeable with the word frequency. Frequency isn't about feeling good like these spiritual niggas will make you think. Frequency is expressed in our physical vessel as a degree of awareness. So a high level of awareness, to navigate this third dimensional realm through a high level of awareness, which essentially means being above the illusions of reality. This is what the God arc is, because once you understand what God is, God isn't some personality who's dictating the course of human events saying, you know what? These people aren't doing what I like, they've pissed me off, whoosh, and they just wipe them off the face of the earth. And any degree of this temper tantrum or this lack of control, which is typically expressed in these biblical scriptures or even religious scriptures in general. And of course there's the duality of the wrath and the love, which are nothing more than the expressions of the two vibratory rates that exist within you and on this earthly plane. But when I say God, I'm simply referring to an impersonal degree of consciousness, impersonal level of consciousness. It doesn't dislike you, it doesn't like you. It is impersonal while simultaneously personal. And the reason why it's personal and impersonal is because it's above duality, which is something that I'm going to break down. But when I say impersonal, for the mere fact that you can conceptualize it like electricity, electricity doesn't shock the bad niggas and it lets the good niggas go. It's not going to be like, oh my God, let me see, he did help that, he helped that lady cross the road the other day, yeah, he carried that woman's bag. No, it's going to shock you regardless because it is impersonal. And this is the same degree through which the nature of God acts. And you can see this in Acts 10:34, where it is stated, God is no respecter of persons. God is no respecter of persons. It doesn't particularly respect what you may do on this physical plane. It respects something much more greater. And that is the thing that's above the illusion, which is your mind, which is the true temple of God, which we're going to be getting into. But simplistically, this is the God arc and how you can conceptualize it. Now, back to the point that I was saying earlier about physical action and the physical plane, is that you have to understand that the physical plane through which most people operate from is the realm of effect. You cannot change an effect by changing an effect. That is backwards. That doesn't make any sense, which is why our lives don't make any sense when we attempt to do better, because you're attempting to do better on a plane of existence that is the lowest level of consciousness. Now, this doesn't mean it's the least important. It just means this is the lowest. And I say this free from these characterizations that people want to perceive being low frequency is bad and high frequency is good. That's not even the case, because if you truly understand the true nature of duality and the law of polarity as you transcend outside this third dimensional realm, our conceptions of good or bad or negative and positive are nothing more than how our ego simply likes to categorize things. But everything is a sense of oneness. Now, the physical plane is the realm of effect, hence why it doesn't make sense to change an effect by changing an effect. For your God arc, whatever it is that you want to do, whether you want to lose weight, make more money, enter your desired reality, manifest a job, manifest more clients in your business, manifest a partner. By the way, AJ, niggas keep asking if I should make a video on how to attract you I'm not doing all that SP shit. I don't even like that. I don't even like that phrase. But I actually could make a video on how to manifest somebody that you want. But technically you can't manifest anything that you want, because wanting indicates to the universe that you don't have, and if you don't have, you can only have what you already have. So yeah, but maybe you think we should do that? Maybe. I'll see if he whips me into doing it. Pause. Like I was saying, physical plane, realm of effect. You can't change an effect by changing an effect. That's what most people try to do. Now, earlier I mentioned that action is the lowest level of consciousness. Let me get on my knees as usual. No diddy. So action is the last thing that we do as human beings. What's preceded by action is actually the things that we are compelled to do. Sometimes you're just compelled to do things, right? There's a little voice in your head that says, do this, do that, do that. What's the prerequisite to being compelled to do anything is intuition. Intuition is comprised of two words: inner tuition, inner teaching, inner guidance. That inner guidance is prerequisite to something that is far more greater, and that is your frequency. Your frequency can also be conceptualized as your mental attitude, also known as who the universe has you registered to be, because whoever that is what the universe is going to reflect to you, because you can only see what you are. Nothing exists in your reality that doesn't exist already within you, and the world will not and cannot give you anything until you've given it to yourself. But your definition of giving it and getting it is completely fucked up, because you think manifestation is the physical expression of what you want. No, manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. And at that point, when you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change, it can then be physically expressed into your reality. Manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. Now, like I said, this is the largest domino. If you can change your frequency, this will have a domino effect on the intuition you receive. That will have a domino effect on the things you're compelled to do. And that will have a domino effect on the action that you take to make sure that you're taking right action, which most people take wrong action, because most people have fucked up frequencies and attempt to take action of things that they're not in the frequency of. But your frequency is the boundaries of anything that you could ever materialize in your reality. I'll give you an example. Let's say that somebody wants to take the physical action of going to the gym and losing weight because it's winter, right? They take the physical action of going to the gym, they go to the gym, they go to the gym. But eventually their frequency catches up to them, because their mind is in the state of somebody who's unfit. Even though they're trying to take actions of someone that is being fit, this is the largest domino that has a trickle effect on their intuition. Then when it rains, they're gonna be like, it's kind of raining today. And they're like, look, it's raining outside. And when it's cold outside, they're gonna be like, whew, it's cold. Oh, look at the time, it's 6. Oh no, everyone's just gonna be getting from work. And you'll almost be silently but subtly compelled to be pushed back to the very thing that you're trying to get away from. And it's all because you haven't changed your frequency. Because if you was to change your frequency, you change your intuition, you'd be compelled to do different things. And then for the actual people that are in a state of being mentally fit, then they are naturally compelled to just say, yo, go to the gym. Let me just go to the gym. They get pleasure from going to the gym. Going to the gym isn't a battle in their head. It's because their head has been arranged in the correct way. But your mind's not arranged in the correct way, but you're trying to take action opposite to it. It's not going to work. And this is what entering the God arc is all about. It's about understanding that your frequency is going to be our focus today. Because once we can move that, everything else falls in place. Hence why, relax, you're going to get some. And make sure you're taking notes, and make sure you drop them notes in the comments as usual. Now, let's get into it. I need it wet as possible. Pause. Nah, the wetter the better. Pause. Speaking of which, somebody asked if I could do a guided meditation. I don't know about all of that stuff. I don't know how I feel about people, closing their eyes, being all relaxed, listening to the sound of my voice. Breathe deeply. My clients always say that if they could get that. But then again, we just record our sessions and they listen to them. Speaking of which, if you're an entrepreneur who's stuck at the revenue ceiling and you're going to break out in the next 7 weeks and 2 to 5x your revenue, the link in the description. I actually had a client who had been trying to close this deal for importation of some farming goods in Africa. He's from Kenya. He's actually from a pretty prestigious family. Anyways, the deals kept falling through. It just wasn't working. This guy closed a 1.2 mil deal in less than 6 weeks of us working together. Shout out to you, Sean. Shout out to you. When I come Kenya, I know you gotta take care of me. Pause.
That's it.
It's hard, it's cool, isn't it? It's really, really cool. So, let's begin with seeing the God arc. So in order for you to truly be in your God arc, what you have to do is to have the eyes of God. And I don't mean this in an egotistical sense or a particularly blasphemous point of view, because all of this stuff can come off blasphemous. And I need you to understand the true blasphemy is the externalization of God. They've taught you that God is in a church. So when niggas are in church, they walk like this. They say, hi, Sister Joyce. Hi. Oh, so good to see you. And then when they're out of church, their state of consciousness is complete devilish. And that's exactly why they live in a degree of experience that is reflective of suffering and evil and misfortune, so on and so forth, and scarcity, simply because you need to understand that the true temple of God, the dwelling place of God, is within you. And you have to understand that these particular religious scriptures aren't meant, well, one thing that I'll say is this: when it comes to religious scriptures, you don't actually read the Bible, you don't read any religious text, you don't read a book, you don't watch a TV show, you don't listen to a song. You actually read your level of consciousness, you see your level of consciousness, and you hear your level of consciousness. This is why I always say 8 billion people on the planet, there's 8 billion worlds, there's one planet. Now, the first place that you have to understand, where you need to see God to enter your God arc, is in the world. In order to enter your God arc, you need to see God in the world. And what I mean by that is this: if we understand that God, quite simply, is consciousness, then you have to understand that consciousness is the substance of reality. And being the substance of reality, you have to actually understand something that most people are never ever going to get to discover. And that is the true relationship between consciousness and matter. Now, one thing that I need you to understand is that a phrase that is commonly said is mind over matter, which is spoken without understanding that the truth of the matter is that mind is matter. Now, for this example that I'm going to use, mind is interchangeable with consciousness. Consciousness being the substance of reality, that's what God is. God is in all things. The all is in all, and the all is in all, and all are in the all. Don't get too trippy with that. But mind over matter isn't the case. The true case is mind is matter. And the way that you need to conceptualize it is this. I'll give you an example. So you have to understand that in this third dimensional realm, we are subject to a law called polarity. Polarity is a fancy way of saying separation, but it's separation that only exists in our third dimensional realm. Only in our third dimensional realm. That's the only place that the illusion of polarity exists. So you see things as separate: negative, positive, masculine, feminine, rich, poor, etc., etc. And the way that I can get you to conceptualize this is think about the example of steam and ice. So if we say steam and ice, steam and ice are the exact same energy. They only have one difference, and that is their rate of vibration. The exact same energy, the only difference is their rate of vibration. And truth of the matter is that this is the exact same thing with mind and matter. You can't touch steam, you can't particularly touch the mind or imagination or consciousness. So let's put mind over here. The same way that you can't touch steam. But you can touch a whiteboard, you can touch a pen, you can touch a spray bottle, you can touch a car, you can touch a door handle, an elevator button, a do-rag, shades, a hoodie. You can touch these things. And matter is similar to ice in a sense that it is something that is tangible and touchable. But in the same way that steam and ice are the same energy, their only difference is their rate of vibration, matter and mind are the same energy, their only difference is their rate of vibration. The world that you live in can be conceptualized as frozen imagination. That's a bar, write that down. Once you begin to see the world around you as frozen imagination, you actually elevate yourself beyond the perspective that you've been given on how to see the world. We see a physical, tangible world, so our mind inherently, unconsciously, subconsciously perceives the world as something that is unmoldable, something that is unmovable, something that is fixated and permanent. But if you were to take a powerful microscope and put it on this whiteboard that isn't moving at all, you see that the particles within it are jumping around and moving. So even objects that appear to be still really, truly aren't still. And this is what they speak about in the Hermetic tradition when they talk about the law of vibration. And this is the understanding, or is it rhythm? It's one of those. The fact that nothing rests, everything vibrates. Yes, it's the law of vibration. And it's the exact same thing. The world that you live in is frozen imagination. And I need you to stop doing one thing. I need you to stop seeing the world as it is. I need you to stop seeing the world as it is. I need you to see the world for what it truly is. which is essentially, like I said, the realm of frozen imagination. I want you, as you're walking around, I want you to look at your phone and don't think, oh, I need my phone. Look at your phone and say, I'm touching frozen imagination. When you open your car door, I'm touching a frozen imagination. When you open your door in your house, touching frozen imagination. As you see cars driving by, lampposts and buildings, all of these things first had to exist in the mind of somebody before they could be materialized onto the physical plane. You have to understand that mind and matter are the exact same energy. The only difference is their rate of vibration. So everything that we see around us was first a conception in somebody's mind. Nothing exists that humanity's created that wasn't first a conception in somebody's mind. Think about the first humans before they could ever fly planes. What they used to do was to see birds. And if you look at the structure of a bird, because we were so used to seeing that degree of that example entered our subconscious minds, to which we then physically express, because as above, so below, as within, as without. And there's so many more examples that I could point that out to you. But you just have to understand for now that the world you live in is frozen imagination. And what you need to do is to alter your perception towards the world. You're not touching a computer, you're not touching a table, you're touching frozen imagination. And the more that you begin to do this, and the more you consciously say to yourself, oh, I'm not touching this, I'm touching frozen imagination. I'm not seeing a building, I'm seeing someone's imagination frozen. The more that you begin to do this, the more you're training your mind to see your world as something that is moldable. Because right now you don't see it as something that is moldable. And if you don't see your world as something that is moldable, then how could you ever mold it to begin with? And in order for you to enter your desired reality, you need to reconstruct your reality. But the beginning, the prerequisite to a reconstruction of your reality is a reconstruction of you. Because you can only experience the degree of what you are internally, externally. I repeat, you will never be able to materialize anything externally until it first exists internally. And this reconstruction, this rearrangement will then lead to the rearrangement of your world. Because once you begin to start to see everything as moldable, then it becomes very easy for you to see yourself actually creating and molding your reality beyond the illusion of what you've been taught of what it is. So bar write that down. I want you to breathe me. Let me be your air. Let me roll your body freely. No inhibition, no sin. How deep is your love? Boom, 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 boom. It's like the ocean. Like the ocean. You know what's crazy? That whole house period of like the 2010s was insane music. Legendary music that we will never touch again. What you know about Hey Brother? Hey Brother. You don't know that song?
I know that song.
Oh, when the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. And when I met you in the summer, yo, that's straight FIFA music in it. To my heartbeat sound, we fell in love as the leaves turn brown. Cool. The next place that you need to begin to see God is in the people that you meet.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is this. Everybody that you meet is nothing more than the physical expression of God. No matter how ignorant they are, no matter how idiotic they are, I know they're NPCs and they're bots and you're so fucking woke and you just see everybody around you as sleeping dogs. That's how spiritual niggas actually see people. That's a good game. Have you ever played Sleeping Dogs? You never played it? It's a really, really good game. It's a really good game. It's basically a Chinese GTA. Yeah. You have to understand that each and every person you meet is a physical expression of God. And what I mean by that is each and every single person is a mask that God is wearing. That's a bar, write that down. Damn, that's a bar. Each and every single person that you meet is a mask that God is wearing. Now, this is the true transcendence of duality, because remember, I told you that one of the illusions that we experience in this third dimensional realm is polarity, which is the idea of separation. When you see somebody, for example, AJ is not separate to me, I'm in him and he's in me all the time, 24/7. Pause. Now, and this can be extrapolated to any single person that you meet, strangers that you see on the road, so on and so forth. Everybody you meet is the physical expression of God, the physical materialization of God. And until you can see the God in them, they will not be able to see the God in you. And the funny thing about life is that until you change the way you look at life, life won't change the way it looks at you. And that's because your perception is actually your projection. And we don't understand this because we're so used to having our perceptions altered. If you look at strangers to be fucking assholes and you see everybody to be idiots around you, then guess what the world is going to reflect back to you in your physical experience when it comes to people. It's the exact same degree, because everybody's a mask that God is wearing. And you have to understand that more often than not, the mask is what you give them. And I've got a whole video about this. What's that video called? Like, you can't create reality, you can't control reality until you control people. I think that's the video, which is so funny because somebody was like, you know, in our video, how to be paid by God. Somebody was like, I'm gonna be watching this video at least once a month. You actually need to just rewatch all my videos if you watch them. And I'd say that to say this, what you're going to pick up is different. Remember what I told you earlier. You don't see your level of you don't read a book, you don't watch a video, you read your level of consciousness and you watch your level of consciousness. Have you ever, I remember when I was reading any book that I've ever read, reading a book for the first time, it's like, what the fuck am I reading? This is so difficult. And then you come back to it a couple of days later and now it's clicking. You come back to a week later and you're like, yo, how did I miss that? You come back to it a month later and you're like, damn. And that's the game, because your consciousness is always elevating and it's always altering itself. And because it's always altering itself, what you're going to be able to pick up in your experience when you interact with something is always going to be different. Now, as I said, you'd have to begin to see people in that way, because here's the thing. Once you begin to start seeing every person you meet as God, and once again, I need you to reconstruct your mind. As you're walking down the street, say, there is God, there is God, there is God, there is God, there is God. How often do you look in the mirror and say, there is God? And I don't say this egotistically. I say this for you to understand that you are the physical expression, the materialization of God. And it's important for you to understand that, because what the world has done is beaten your self-esteem to such a degree that you see yourself as a lowly worm, without realizing that your self-worth is the ceiling of anything that you could ever materialize in reality. You may not even have a problem manifesting. You may just have a problem with a low degree of self-worth, because until you can transcend that self-worth that the world has given to you, whether politically, whether economically, whether even spiritually in these particular religious systems, and they talk about original sin and all this bullshit to give you a sense of degree of guilt and something that you feel like you're in some type of spiritual debt that you need to work out, without understanding that the 2 M's of the universe, which I've spoken about in a video called The Beginner's Guide to the Universe, is magnify and then maintain. If you come with this degree of feeling like a burden and a guilt, then the world is going to magnify that emotion out of you by using people, conditions, circumstances, and events to further magnify that and make you feel even more like a burden. And shit's just not going to go well for you. And then after that, because the universe likes a degree of energetic convenience, or as I call it, energetic equilibrium, it will then seek to keep you maintain at that degree for its own convenience, not because it hates you or anything along those lines. Now, as I was saying, separation, once you begin to start seeing everyone as God, you actually transcend out of it and you enter the true definition of the degree of Christ consciousness. And all you have to do is simplistically understand Jesus' golden rule, or Christ's golden rule. And Christ is nothing more than the unification with the infinite intelligence. A lot of niggas think that Jesus' last name is Christ, but that's not the case. There was actually 16 Christs before Jesus. Some to name: Krishna, Enoch, or also known as the Prophet Idris in the Quran, also known as Hermes, also known as Tahuti or Jehuti, also known as Mercury, right? Yao of Indra. Who else? Who else? No one else is coming to the top of my mind at this moment in time. But Christ is a particular degree of consciousness to which you are in direct unity with the infinite intelligence, or God. Hence why Jesus said, I and my Father are one. It's the understanding that the physical expression of God through that particular energy, if you see your body as a degree of physical avatar, your ability to harmonize yourself with God and the infinite intelligence is what's going to change the suffering that you've been going through. Because anytime that we experience a degree of suffering, whether scarcity, misfortune, failure, or anything that's particularly negative, That's simply because we are direct out of alignment with the infinite intelligence and with God. And the moment we can get back into that stream, then our reality is going to change. But it's going to take for you to understand Jesus' golden rule or Christ's golden rule, which is treat others how you'd like to be treated. And this is like something that they even teach in like primary school or like elementary school or whatever it is for you guys. But this is something as adults that we begin to shift away from without understanding the true esoteric profoundness in that degree of treat others how you want to be treated, because you're not treating others. There is no others, there is only you. And until you understand that people are only you, you'll be trapped by the illusion of separation, polarity. And if you're trapped in an illusion, your degree of progress in this third dimensional realm will also be trapped. It's important that you need to elevate yourself outside of this. Oh, and I'm glad you lot like the new piano sound as well. It's good, innit? I told AJ he's got to switch it up. If you go over to AJ's channel, I'm over there playing the piano for him. So
You playing real good. Real good.
that's a crazy pause, bro. What do you mean I play it real good? What did you mean by that?
Play the piano real good, bro.
What do you mean by that?
Keep me relaxed.
Well, I'm just a chill guy.
As if you pulled that off. Yo.
I don't think I've ever screenshot a meme so many times.
Nah, that meme is too.
I'm just a chill guy, man. Just a chill guy that creates his desired reality. Cool. So the next thing that you guys have to understand in the way of the God arc is that God sees causes, not effects. Now, back to the point that I dropped at the start of this video, you have to understand that this third dimensional realm is the realm of effect. Typically, what most people do is that they experience their reality and they are satisfied with themselves, but they're unsatisfied with their reality. And there can be no outer change until there's first inner change. Your physical is directly reliant on your mental, spiritual. Nothing can exist physically until it first exists vibrationally, on earth as it is in heaven. And this is the understanding that in order for you to truly be in your God arc, you have to look at your reality and the things that you're experiencing from a degree of cause, not effects. And what I mean by that is this: you may be experiencing something that you don't like. You may not be with the romantic partner that you want to be with. You may not be happy the way that your life is going. You may not be happy with the patterns that you keep running into, the same patterns. You may not be happy with how much money you're making. You may not be happy with your job. You may not be happy how much your business is making. Whatever the case may be, it's important for you to not look at your reality and be unsatisfied with your reality. You actually need to give all the attention to you, because you are the cause. What a lot of people do without realizing it is that they externalize their reality and they make false gods of the world. If you want to know what a false god is esoterically, a false god is anything that you submit to from a degree of being causality in your reality. Anything that is external to you that you determine is a causality, that's a false god, because nothing rules you except your frequency, except your consciousness. And that's the truth. And the empire that you exist in is always going to be spearheaded by the frequency that you're in. And it's important for you to understand that you must see the causes, not the effects. So instead of thinking, how can I change my reality? The question is, how can I change myself? If you could just ask yourself that question and begin to see what aspects of you need to be rearranged in order for you to enter your desired reality, then everything will change. Anything that you experience in your life, by the time it happens, by the time something happens in reality, it's an effect, which means that the cause was long set in motion. So you actually need to be able to draw your attention to yourself in order to change your reality. But what the world wants you to do, the world wants you to think, oh nah, if you want to lose weight, you just gotta try these supplements. You gotta use the Ozempic. Oh, if you want to make more money, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You have to do this. And as I said in a previous video, I don't remember which video it was, but I said you need to stop doing more and start being more. And this is the true understanding of what I was saying at the start of frequency being the biggest domino that's going to alter things. And your frequency, the causes, when I say you, the simplistic way that you can understand this, when I say you, I mean your frequency. And if we want to break down what your frequency is comprised of, is your beliefs, your attention, your emotionally charged thoughts, your identity. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I'm missing one. Which one am I missing? And your emotions/moods. Or attitudes, interchangeable with that too. That is what your frequency is comprised of. And if you want to enter a different effect, then you need to alter the cause. And if you want to alter the cause, then you need to make sure that your beliefs are reflective of the desired reality you want to be in. You want to make sure that your moods and your attitudes and your emotions that you hold on a base level throughout your day are reflective of your desired reality. You need to make sure the things that you're giving your attention to and your focus to reflect your desired reality. You need to make sure the thoughts that you experience are reflective of your desired reality. You need to make sure that the identity that you align with is reflective of your desired reality. If you can tick off each one of these things, I promise you, your frequency will change, you will change, the cause will change, and then the effects will change. The issue is too many of us play the game backwards, and you need to stop playing the game backwards. You need to stop seeing effects. Stop seeing effects. Stop thinking I'm not making the amount of money that I want to. Stop thinking I'm not in the shape that I want to be in. Stop thinking I'm not, at the point in my love life that I want to be in. Stop thinking all of these things, because all of these things is you externalizing and projecting your importance and your attention on the aspect of reality that by the time you experience it has long been set in motion. And what you actually need to do is to shift it to yourself to see the causes in your reality. So I want you to ask yourself, in any degree or any aspect of your life that you're unsatisfied with, ask yourself, how am I causing this? What is causing this? Which part of me is causing this? Are my beliefs aligned? Are my emotionally charged thoughts aligned? Are my moods and attitudes aligned? Is my identity aligned? Is my attention aligned? More often than not, if you're being honest, and here's the thing, you can lie to me, you can lie to whoever the fuck you want, but you can't lie to your mind, because your mind will always be outpictured outside around you. And it's the funny thing, we think that people can hold secrets, and to a degree, people can hold secrets. But truthfully, secrets, the thoughts that somebody holds, will always be reflected in their reality. All I have to do is look at somebody's condition of reality to know it, and I can know what's in their minds. And it's funny because I can meet people and in less than an hour see where their subconscious blocks are or where they're going wrong. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. But I'm telling you, grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give it everything and that. Bro, I'm telling you, that whole, I don't know if it's house or EDM. I see why people take drugs. Imagine hearing them tunes in a club and you're just off it. Like, that's mad. Serious tunes, serious. Somebody was like, after watching Nero, I can't look at spiritual people the same anymore. I need to still practice them telekinesis, when the guys do the...
Yeah.
I need to practice that stuff.
You showed me that. I was
Niggas will have telekinesis and then wake up in a reality they don't like. How the hell does that make sense? And see, this is why I say, guys, spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. It's very cool talking about how you're a psychic and how you can do all of this and you're clairvoyant, but like, if you're waking up in a reality that you don't like, what is the purpose of it? Because nigga like me, if I could do telekinesis, I'd have to arrest me. Final thing. Final thing. God, for your God arc, you have to detach yourself from the illusion of time. And what I mean by that is this: you have to understand that in order for you to manifest your desired reality, you actually need to go beyond the illusions of this third dimensional realm. So long as you're confined to operating within this third dimensional realm, you'll be confined, because remember, illusions is a fancy word of saying trap, and that means your progress will be trapped. In order for you to not be trapped, you need to go beyond the trap and above the trap by elevating your consciousness outside this third dimensional realm. And one of the illusions of this third dimensional realm is time. Outside of our reality, there is no time. Everything has happened. /happening. And everything is one. Which means that your desired reality has already happened. But your definition of, am I in my desired reality, is if you can see it. By the time you see it is by the time it has already been created, because what you see is the expression of manifestation. That's what you're reliant on. And you have to understand that if you elevate yourself above the illusion of time, you need to start operating as if your desired reality is already here. And that the truth of the matter is, it is already here. But when I say here, you're thinking about reality, which means you're thinking about the realm of illusion, which you need to disconnect yourself from. When I say here, our definition of your reality already being here is if you feel it within to such a degree that you don't need to see it without. I repeat, manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. And the mistake that a lot of people make is thinking, one day I'm going to be rich. One day I'm going to be in the shape that I want to be. One day I'm going to be with the person that I want to be. One day this, one day that. I know I will be that soon. And for the mere fact that you make your own laws, you're actually created a barrier in between you and your desired reality, all for the mere fact that you are adhering to this third dimensional realm constrainment of time. You actually need to see your desired reality as already here. And then when you see it as already here, the true process of manifestation isn't creating something that doesn't exist. It's actually making and taking what is invisible and making it visible by becoming the vibratory alignment of that desired reality to such a degree that internally you shift to a point where you no longer need to see it manifest in your reality for you to feel type of way when you're good with it and you're good without it. Enter your God arc.